Okay, so I'd like to welcome everybody to the Student Athlete Roundtable, Adjusting to Life as a Student Athlete During COVID-19. I just want to introduce our panel to everybody. We have Brian Goodman from men's soccer. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
We have Tina Fabrizi from women's basketball. Peter Gardner from baseball.
Going on?
Josh, is it Anderson? Josh?
Yeah, Anderson.
Anderson from track and field.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Cornelius from bowling. Christina Stasola from men's volleyball.
Hello.
All right, welcome. And welcome to everybody else who's kind of just tuning in and watching. We appreciate you being here. Again, anybody who chimes in, who's here viewing the panel, just please keep your mic muted. And ask any questions through the chat feature. If you have any questions at any point, I'll just kind of keep an eye on it. And we will go ahead and try to squeeze in your questions as we go. So the first question I have for the panel is, how's it faring since moving to online classes and working on them primarily from home? So Brian, why don't we start with you?
I personally have been fine. My professors have all handled it. Not exactly the best, but also not the worst. Like, one of the classes adjusted to like a regular online one, and then all the other ones we have the Blackboard Collaborate classes at the regular time. So it's not too bad, and they kept the workload the same, if not decreasing it. So I can't really complain too much from my experience.
Yeah, great. How about you, Tina?
I'm sorry, there's like bad connection for me. I can like hear you, but then it'll go off.
You can hear, okay. Yeah, it seems to be coming across a little slow. You know what? Did you hear my?
Like, can you repeat the question?
Sure. How have you been faring in moving to online classes and working on them primarily from home?
I mean, it's all right. For me, it doesn't really work. So like, it's basically homeschooling for everybody. So I would not prefer to do this. I would rather get up and go to school. Yes, it's annoying at times, but I'd rather like sit in front of the teacher and have them speak to me directly instead of working on a computer and emailing back and forth. So
Yeah. Well, great. Peter, how have you been doing?
I think just like she said, same kind of thing for me. I've never really done the online class thing up until now. And it's not that I don't like it. It's just I like the whole face-to-face teacher contact thing. You know what I mean? I think I understand it better as opposed to being like told over the computer or on email. Because if you have a question, it's tough because then you email your professor and then they might not get back to you for an hour or two because they're doing something, which you can't expect them to be right on their computer. And then you're doing an assignment and it's like, oh, well, now I got to skip that question or wait a little longer to get the answer,
Sure. Yeah. Okay, great. How about you, Christina?
I was actually taking 2 online classes prior to all of this, but I still hate it. I just needed to get credits finished. It's honestly not that bad. A lot of professors are offering the Blackboard collaborative thing, but none of the class goes into them. So they've kind of just transferred it to just assigning homework online and expecting you to finish it. And then week by week, they'll post on Sunday a week's worth of work, and then it's just the whole cycle. So it's not bad, but I prefer, obviously, in-person classes.
Okay, great. How about you, Josh?
Just kind of a repeat what everyone else said. I think it's kind of easy, but it's hard to focus. And I think I absorb way more if I'm in class and listening to a teacher rather than just like putting the answers down and just like trying to get it done. So I just, I don't know. I think it's just better to be in class.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. And how about you, Jaleev?
I'd have to agree, considering like 2 of my classes, we haven't actually had an online meeting yet. We've just been assigned work. There's been, announcements that we would be meeting on Blackboard, but then there was just nothing. I mean, half the class would be there, there wouldn't be a professor, and we understand that it's a trying time. So it's harder to focus, especially like let's say we're just not as disciplined. Like I can admit, like I'm not as disciplined when I'm not physically going to class, and especially being as I have outside distractions on the same technology that I have to use for my education, it makes it harder for me to focus. So like I know like I'm slowly but surely digging myself a hole with my coursework.
Sure, sure. Well, one thing that I think is important to kind of just point out, I mean, it seems to be a recurring theme, and nobody wanted it to be this way. And when the college made the decision, which was almost an inevitable decision now that we know how bad things are, you know, it was kind of told to us that it's not ever going to be perfect, but it's the best that we can do at this point. And you know, Coach Alfio's on the phone now, and he's somebody who teaches high school, and you know, he teaches a subject that's difficult to do in this capacity. So there are certain subjects that are just really hard to do online right now. And I think the professors are learning kind of how to do it. They had very little time to transition their classes over. So I think what we're seeing is kind of a, you know, a varied approach. It's important to remember that students have some barriers to technology, you know, so, you know, we worked with our students to try and make sure that everyone at least had a laptop or a computer to use. But, you know, some of our faculty and staff have those challenges as well, especially if they have kids at home who need access to it too. So, you know, I'm not trying to defend it. I'm glad that your feedback is your feedback, and this is really good for you to kind of mention that in this forum and kind of put that out there, because I think it's going to teach the college. We're all going to kind of learn lessons, because we may not be done with this. We don't know how long this is going to last for, and it might be something that we're looking at definitely in the next summer session, and who knows if this goes into the fall. So your feedback is very useful to us. I'll move on to the next question. I'm going to skip over because it's kind of a similar question, my second one, but we'll start with Brian. Do you find it challenging managing your time, and what sorts of steps have you taken to ensure that you're making time for your coursework?
For some classes, it's a little harder than others. Like my morning class, it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to get up at 7:45 and sit through a lecture at 8 a.m., especially when I'm at home, like laying in bed, and then I just wake up and have to do that. And I just thought it was better for the in-person class for that, at least, because I had to actually get up and go to campus and sit in class. So I'd pay a little more attention. But now adjusting with everything, I like block out certain times of the day where I just try to get my homework done. But mainly it's just me doing it on the weekends because I have so many other meetings going on and stuff during the week.
Great, thanks. Tina, did you hear the question?
Yeah. I mean, I mostly, for me, like, usually when I wake up and check Blackboard for whatever times, like I get lazy and I'm like, oh, okay, let's go in the living room, hang out with my family, or like, you know, instead of like checking Black and like doing work. But yeah, mostly I'll just do by, 12 and then just get on with my day.
Okay, Tina, your connection seems to be a little slow. We can hear you, but it comes across, you know, kind of slowly and in pieces. So from here on, when I ask the question, why don't you type your answer, and then what I'll do is I'll read it out loud once we get to you. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Okay, great, thanks. What about you, Peter? What are some of the things that you're doing to stay on task?
I think just like Brian said, you know, for my one class that's a 7 a.m., which is pretty early.
Oh my
It's
God.
you know, it's tough to get up. You know, it's especially like you said, you're in bed, and the last thing you want to do is get up at like 6:45, log on, and listen to someone talk on a computer for an hour. But really, I've just been trying to block some time out to do it. You know, I mean, I do a lot of things during the day, so it's been tough, but it's just, you know, I'll usually set aside time mid-morning before I really get my day going. So that way it's just kind of like, you know what, spend 2 hours doing work, and then at least you got the rest of the day to do things instead of having to, worry about it later at like 6, 7 o'clock at night when you really don't want to be doing it,
Right. Great. How about you, Christina?
My time management is horrible. I have really been in bed like all day. It's horrible. So I make Danny text me at 4:15 on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and he gets me to do my homework. But I've been trying to also just block out time to get it all done in kind of like 3 sittings instead of trying to progressively doing it throughout the day, because my family is like very like trying to involve me and stuff, so I don't have time to sit and focus on homework. So still working on it.
Well, I appreciate that very honest answer.
I cannot lie about it.
And I think a lot of our student athletes can relate to that because I've been saying it from the start of this. Having all the time in the world is almost as bad as having no time.
Yeah, I'd rather be in class, honestly.
Yeah, because there's structure there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Josh?
Yeah, of course.
Just for the record, really quick, Mike, Christina, to make you not feel bad, I'm texting about half my students at least. So, yeah, don't feel bad about that one.
Yeah, you're in good company. Josh, what do you think?
I've kind of just been like, once I wake up, I'll check my phone and go on Blackboard and just remind myself what's due by the end of the week. And some days I don't do any work, and then some days I'll do a lot of work. It just like I just try to kind of what everybody else said, like block time out or block a day out that I'll just focus entirely, and then another day I'll just be a lazy bum.
Yes.
Okay. Well, as long as you don't get too far behind that way, right? So as long as the next day after you're lazy, you're back on it. So that's good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not too bad. Jaleev, how about you? How you handling that?
It has been horrendous. That's putting it like nicely, especially because like I know my family is going through a lot when it comes to like our extended family, health wise. So it's been a struggle emotionally, and then on top of that, then to sit down and then have to do work, it just like it doesn't distract me. So then I'll end up going and doing something that distracts me from my work, just so that I'm not focused on the more serious things in life, which is a horrible thing to say, but it's true. So like this week, I'm really trying to buckle down, and like the past 2.5, 3 days, I haven't really done anything else but work because I'm so far behind. But I have been appreciating the text for Danny. They have been assisting me rather greatly, especially in occasions when I don't wake up because my sleep schedule is just that messed up.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to students who are awake all night and sleeping during the day.
Yep.
Which is kind of a byproduct of having all the time in the world. But it obviously leads to some habits that aren't necessarily conducive to managing your time. So that's kind of the trick is how do you break that cycle? Because we only have 3 weeks left. So if you're missing a class that's scheduled to meet through Blackboard, what is it called, Christina? Blackboard?
It's a collaborative
Yeah.
tool. I really don't know.
Yeah. So if there's a class that we're supposed to meet and you're sleeping through it because you're up all night, that makes it difficult. There's been a lot of students that that have had that challenge, and it's a legitimate thing because I don't think anybody intends for it to be that way. It just kind of happens. So, how do we get out of that? How do we break that cycle is really the question. So,
When you find out, let me know.
yeah, just gotta, I think, just try and, what I've been saying to some students who've had trouble with that is to, figure out what time you need to get up by, and try to go to bed an hour earlier every night or a half hour earlier every night so you can kind of slowly break the cycle. Let's say you're going to bed at I don't know, 3 a.m. You want it to be closer to 12. You may find it hard to all of a sudden try and go to bed at 12. Keep laughing. I know people who get up at 6 in the morning. For sure. No, somebody will be like that. So if you want to move it more,
Oh, Mike, what I do is like I put a timer on my phone. So like I mean my early I mean I don't have what you guys have, but like he said he had to wake up at 6:45. My earliest class is like 9:30. So and I still sleep until like 10:30, 11, but I usually put alarm clock on my phone so I can wake up.
well, actually, that is a nice segue to my next question, and I won't ask everyone this individually. Just speak up if you feel like you have something to chime in with. How are you using technology to help you with school and maybe some interpersonal relationships and team activities? Maybe you're using it to kind of keep in touch with your team right now. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
I mean,
Your box lit up first.
so, I know our team has a group chat of sorts. We just started reaching out again to each other about last week. We're trying to give each other encouraging words and checking on each other. But it's like that, as well as we have a group chat with other teams that we've played against or mingled with throughout our season. So it's just everyone's trying to, inspire each other and checking on each other.
That's good. Glad to hear that.
We have the same thing. Our baseball team has the same kind of group chat where we just kind of encourage us, trying to make it a little less.
Right, that's us as well. We have a group chat. Our coach always is like trying to check up on us or whatever. Mainly maybe once a week. So it's good. I mean, like we all talk in there a little bit, not that much, but once something comes up, then we'll all respond. But then we won't talk for like another week, and then I mean it's hard because people have stuff to do. I get it. People are very busy, but I feel like we should connect at least once a week if you're still participating on the team.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear that stuff's going on.
Also, tune into H's trivia on Monday.
Yeah.
I do that.
Well, we had a Thursday
Hey,
trivia.
Christina, where is that?
On Kahoot.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Mike, you sent us the link on TeamSync.
I did.
Yeah, but I have no idea how to win.
You
Like,
Google
what-
Kahoot and you type in the pin.
No, I do. I understand. I do that. But then once the game's over, you could play over and over and over again. I don't know if it's the real game
That's
or not.
called you're a cheater.
Oh.
You can only play once.
That's funny. Well, that's actually another good segue and maybe a more fun question. What are some of the things you're doing for fun?
Kahoot.
Kahoot.
My PlayStation.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Usually
my PC.
right. Either Xbox or playing I don't know, board games with my family, playing cards, stuff like that. Try to keep busy.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, we're playing a lot of cards in my household too. Never played so many cards in my life, I don't think. Well, that's good. Just as a little side note, we are trying to get, we're doing esports right now. Danny's helping with that, and that's gone pretty well. But we're also trying to do some console-based games and try to have an inter-team or inter-athletic department competition. So let's say we were trying to get MLB The Show going. We were trying to get
Danny, I'm going to wreck you in that.
Danny Barrera, he's not here tonight, but for men's basketball, I know we were trying to get men's basketball and 2K going. So if anybody's interested in trying to kind of help us with it, you got us administrators in the athletic department, and our coaches we're not really involved in that. So if we can get somebody to kind of head that up for us, we think it'd be something cool to kind of follow on our website. So just a little sidebar, if that's something you're interested in helping us get off the ground, then let us know. And I don't know, Brian, maybe there's soccer. I don't think there's track or bowling, but if there was, then we'd be interested in that too. So
There is bowling, but
There's Wii bowling.
we
no,
bowling.
there's more than that.
There's
PBA
two
bowling
guys
actually
there.
exists for the PlayStation.
Yeah. Listen, I am. If you guys would be interested in something like that, we'll help you do it. We don't have consoles. We don't know how it works. So all we can really do is support it from like a marketing standpoint, you know? So,
There's a PS3 in the soccer locker room.
good luck getting in there when we get back. All right. So let's see. I think we have a couple of questions or something here. Hold on a second. All of a sudden it just, oh, Brian, you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to know if everyone else here was made aware that the withdrawal date was extended to April 7th. Like if you got a message about that for your classes.
It was
Yeah.
extended to April 7th. Why, do you have a withdrawal concern now?
Me, like, for some reason, I have a feeling like the school didn't do an adequate job informing everyone.
I didn't
Because,
even
like,
know I could do that.
yeah, because they usually send out like the mass emails, but I know even those some people don't get, and they didn't send anything.
About
for-
the 7th?
Yeah, they didn't send out anything about extending the date.
If you have something, a concern, I've been working closely with the dean on things that may have fallen through the cracks. So if you need help with something like that, just let Danny know or let me know, outside of this, and we can kind of work on that. Okay?
Mhm.
All right, great. All right, so what do you miss most about your athletic team, or what you would normally be doing this time of year?
Workouts.
Literally.
Christina, you could still be working out.
All right, mind your business. I can't.
I feel like team
cannot.
chemistry.
Yeah,
Just-
camaraderie.
Yeah, that's it. Like we were on a little bit of a streak. I don't know. We were doing pretty well, and I really miss being with those guys. You know.
Gosh, your season. I mean,
I do like little workouts that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was just saying, Josh. I was going to kick it to Josh. I mean, they started practicing, but never got to their first competition, so they just starting to get things going.
Yeah, it's annoying. We were like working with tight space already, and then we finally I was like, all right, hopeful, all right, it's gonna work out, and then everything started to fall apart real quick, coronavirus, and now it's just I haven't gone for a run in like forever.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I know. Anything specific that you missed?
Definitely just
people.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you good. Just getting my energy out, really. It's hard to keep my energy, get it out at home. There's nothing to do, really. I can run in the yard, but at this point, like a dog.
I don't know. I feel like it gave you something to look forward to at the end of school, like getting through classes and stuff during the day, like going to the baseball field. It just gave me like something to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Christina, did you have something to add there?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. What are some of the things that you might be learning through this experience that after we get closer to normal, I mean, I think it might be some time before life gets back to normal, and normal may be a different than what we are used to. But as we get closer to a normal state, what are some of the things that you're learning now that you might want to continue doing when we get back there?
Reading. More reading.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like if there was a time where I ever had to take an online class because of whatever job restraint or time restraint, I mean, I guess having to do it now would be a good, learning curve to if I had to do it later in life,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. I agree. I don't think maybe trying one class online like wouldn't be that hard, but at least to try it, might be a good experience.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Someone mentioned playing cards and things. I mean, I know personally, I've worked in athletics now for 18 years, and I've never had the opportunity to have dinner with my family, on a consistent basis like this. So we've gotten to spend a lot of time together. So that's something that, obviously when we go back to work and, I'm not going to be able to necessarily do that. But just the value I'm getting out of it now and spending time with family is probably going to make me want to do that more once we get back.
I agree.
So I appreciate that time that we're getting to spend right now. It's not such a bad thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but usually, like, if you guys were to go out, I don't know if any of you guys go out. Obviously, people go out for essentials, but you should really, like, now you see how people really act. Like, if you go outside, like, people really take. I mean, yes, you really should take 6 feet apart, like, serious. But if you're trying to get in between places, I've actually gotten yelled at by a woman to stay away, like, go the other way, please. Like, I had a mask on, gloves on, everything. I made like I went like that. That was the only thing I did, and I got yelled at right away. Like, people can cough on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But now you know how it's like supply and demand. People want what they want. So
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've heard stories like that because people get very, there's panic. Some people panic.
right.
But there's
Right.
also been some really nice humanitarian stories. And, I'm at the age where, a lot of people have kids and they have birthdays during this time period. And, fire departments and, local ambulance corps and things like that. They're coming by wishing kids happy birthday. So, like it's like anything. There's good and there's bad.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So I look at those things and just kind of hope that things like that stick around. The people showing each other kindness and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you're right about that part of it. I mean, if you cough in public right now, it's not,
Frenzy.
I know. It's just be careful.
Yeah.
Make a lot of eye contact.
What was that, Jaleel?
Make a lot of eye contact. Like for me, every time I've gone for a walk, I've made sure like if someone was approaching and they're at a distance, like this one lady up the street from my house, she was walking with a child, no gloves, and a small child. I'm talking about like maybe 3-4 years old, no gloves, no mask, nothing. They're walking, and we're approaching someone, but we're across the street from each other. So I keep waving at her to try to make eye contact. And then when she finally responds to me, I didn't even mouth anything because I had my mask on. I was like, I'm not gonna yell. I just pointed. I said, "Are you going this way, or this way?" And then when she finally pointed and told me where she was going, I was like, "All right, that's cool. We're good." Because I didn't want to even freak her out. So I was like, she'll pass by and then I'll do my thing.
Yeah. I just want to Frankie is on the call here, and he typed a message that it makes you appreciate the fact that you can hang out and interact with teachers and peers. I'm guessing that's in response to, things you appreciate and what you might learn that you might do after this is over. So thank you for that comment, Frankie. I think we can all agree with that.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So our last question here, what are some of the things that you're doing to take care of yourself during this time period?
Rest.
Lots of it.
A lot of sleep, right? Anybody else, like something that you're doing that just like I got to do this for me right now?
I'm doing a lot of yoga and more reading, like I said. That helps my brain a lot.
Good. Those are great examples.
I walk down to the river, which is like it's not that far from my house, so I take my dog and I'll just like when it's nice out, of course, I'll like take time out of my day and I'll just go walk down there, sit there for a little bit, and come back just to get away, because it gets a little overwhelming being surrounded by your family 24/7 with nobody having anywhere to go. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I have a dog too. I do the same kind of thing just to get out, because it's, we say we like being inside and being on the couch, but after you're inside on the couch for 8-10 hours a day, it gets old.
Yeah, fast.
Definitely gets old.
Sure.
Definitely have to agree though. Like walks have been probably like the most like peaceful this entire time. And I'll just go by myself even if I don't like if I'm not listening to music. It's just the most peaceful though to get out of the house and not feel cooped up. Like you don't feel like you're going stir crazy. But it's like that, being able to talk to your friends on a regular basis, even if you don't see them, and yeah, the rest. That's about it. Like the fact that like at least I'm not waking up consistently feeling exhausted is a nice experience.
Yeah, that is good.
It's just like the only thing that is like negative right now. It's just like for me personally, it's like my energy. Like just staying at home, just like, okay, now what do I do? Now what do I do? And I'm mostly like either on my phone, watching Netflix, like binge watching a show, in my bed all day, and then just getting up to eat lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then, or like if I want to do something with my siblings, I'll like go right outside and either like, I don't know, go for a walk or like exercise in my living room or in my room. But, or like if my mom or dad need, essentials for the house, like I'll go out instead of them just to like get away and, get some fresh air.
Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, yeah, you can get into that rut too. Binge watching. Jaleev just actually pointed out that he was binge watching right before he came on to this. So yes, we're all guilty of it. It's not the worst thing. I mean, Tiger King was
oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, however many hours that was, I'll never get that back in my life. But somehow, so, in fact, I have a background that, I don't know if you guys know, but in the mornings, our staff meets every morning, and we have a competition over who can have the best background, and the winner gets to choose the next day's background. So I will share this one's my favorite one.
Yeah,
That's Viking King.
that's pretty creative, actually.
That is pretty creative.
So yeah, so that's just a neat feature in Zoom. You can kind of create your own virtual backgrounds and everything. So
H is tied for the lead.
H, I have to check my score on that. He might still be, but I don't know. Spinner's been doing well lately. He's getting pretty creative. So, and Danny loves the props. Danny brings all the props to the background. It comes in full regalia, whatever's in the background he's wearing. So that's pretty fun. So that's actually kind of how we're taking care of ourselves as a staff, just to try and have some. We're a pretty lighthearted bunch normally when we're in the office, so we try to make it as normal as possible. And I think that's a good way to kind of go about your lives. I mean, this is a crazy situation, and if you can build routine into your day, if you can look for ways to kind of do things that make you happy, I think those are important. And before I let you go, there's a few things. I mean, I think it's important, for us to. This has been a great conversation. I look forward to our other student athletes getting an opportunity to watch this and kind of just see, hey, I'm not the only one going through this. Here are a bunch of student athletes, and we all feel the same way, and it's kind of normal. And maybe they could take some bits and pieces of what we're talking about and kind of that'll help them get through this. And just the fact that we're sitting there looking at each other is just a kind of a break from the norm. So maybe that people will find some value in that. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be a part of the panel today. Those of you who tuned in, thanks for jumping on and kind of hearing what everyone has to say. I do want to acknowledge that, you know, Jaleeve alluded to that, you know, I hope everyone's friends and family are all healthy and are doing well. But there's certainly some people that we know. I'm sure we all know some people who have been affected by this. And it hits home and it becomes very difficult to deal with sometimes. So I just want to remind you that the college still has a ton of services that we're still offering. Virtually everything that we would normally offer on campus is still available to you in some capacity. So particularly personal counseling. So if anybody gets into a situation where they just need someone to talk to, I would recommend personal counseling. They can have an opportunity to kind of voice their concerns or you know, talk a little bit about, you know, what's going on in their lives in a safe environment. And then, you know, particularly how it affects you academically too, because, you know, it's hard enough to get through this change as it is, and you add in some of those stresses, you know, and you know, things can kind of, you know, get off the rails pretty quickly. So, you know, I just want to remind you all of that. Yeah, many people mention fitness, whether it's walking or being the student athletes that you typically are and not having the opportunity to work out and things. I just want to point out that we have a bunch of group fitness offerings that we've added. We're doing virtual classes in yoga, Pilates, boxing, and HIIT training, which is high intensity interval training. And that's a pretty good class. It's a half-hour class, and it's really high intensity. It's kind of a new trend. I don't know if you've heard of Orange Theory, but that's where it stems from. So we're offering some things even within athletics. But even if you don't take advantage of that, there's plenty of YouTube things that you can do and free, you know, home workout videos that you can get onto that I think give you the opportunity to maybe do some stuff indoors. You know, yeah, there's only 3 weeks left in the semester, so we're almost done here. So
Thank God.
yeah. So I just want every one of you to know, and everyone out there listening, that athletics is here for you. And you know, we've attempted to meet on a weekly basis with every student athlete. Not everybody wanted to engage with us, but if you haven't and you'd like to, you know, that opportunity is still there. We'd love to hear from you and talk to you and help you through this. And we look forward to a day where, you know, we're all back on campus. I miss all your faces. I miss working with you, interacting with you, and just hearing activity going on in the gym and in our on our fields. And, you know, just it's something I really miss. And I look forward to the day that we can get back to. So, you know, we'll get there at some point. Just hang in there and just know that we're here for you. And Danny's changed his background. Is that your favorite?
That's the one.
That's the one, yeah. Yeah, we got a bunch of them. We can do this all day, I guess, but you know, we'll spare you. We've taken up a lot of your time. So thank you again. Does anyone have any questions or any parting words?
No, I'm good.
No? Okay. Thank you all again. Be safe. My best to you and your families, and I look forward to talking soon.
Thanks, Mike. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You
Mike.
guys.
Yeah, have a good
Thank you.